is Local 3 News at noon.
Well, thank you for watching Local 3 News at noon. It is Monday, April 29th. I'm Latrice Curry. New today, 2 women are in custody after a pursuit on I-75. The Hamilton County Sheriff's Office says the pursuit started when deputies saw a vehicle that had reportedly fled law enforcement in Catoosa County this morning. The deputies say they attempted a traffic stop, but the driver, Samaya Ray, refused to stop, reaching speeds over 100 miles per hour. Spike strips were used to stop the car. Ray is charged with 6 driving-related charges. The front seat passenger, Angelique Grant, was charged with simple possession of marijuana. Both suspects were taken to the Hamilton County Jail. We have continuing coverage from 2 tragic stories that happened over the weekend. Both these cases have left family members mourning the loss of their loved one. The incidents claimed the lives of 4 people, 2 on Signal Mountain and 2 in Bradley County. On Signal Mountain yesterday, 2 hikers drowned after a woman slipped and fell into a drop-off while trying to cross a creek on Rainbow Lake Trail. And a man jumped in to try and rescue her. A spokesperson for the Hamilton County Office of Emergency Management says a 911 caller reported 2 people underwater just after 7 p.m. last night. After hiking a mile down the trail, they found a woman who told them a group of 3 to 4 people had gone hiking down to the creek. She said a female attempted to cross the creek and fell. One male jumped into the water to try and rescue her. Today, Signal Mountain PD is urging hikers to take proper safety precautions.
Just make sure, maps can fail, especially your phone can too. Make sure you have a hard copy of the map, plan your route. When it's starting to get dark, head back. There's a lot of trails that connect and a lot of great scenery, but just be careful.
They found the female in the water, pulled her out and tried to revive her, but were unsuccessful. Rescuers were unable to recover the body of the male. Now, Hamilton County Emergency Management says the 2 victims are related and appear to be from Georgia. Their family has been notified. In Bradley County, 2 Cleveland High students died in a car accident over the weekend. The students were identified as Era Wilson and Chaitez Jackson. Yesterday, the faculty and students honored their memory by releasing balloons in Calhoun, Tennessee. Principal Bob Pritchard expressed that the students were beloved by all who knew them.
Era Wilson, yeah, she was one of my elementary students at Mayfield Elementary. I was the assistant principal there for several years, and we just had a special connection for those years while she was at Mayfield, and it was a joy to watch her kind of grow up over the years.
Cleveland High School administrators released a statement saying in part, quote, Cleveland High School is heartbroken by the loss of 2 of our students. Now, Cleveland City School administrators tell us that counselors will be available to students and staff members today. This is a developing story, and you can find updates on both of these stories by downloading our app. Time now to switch gears and talk some weather on this Monday afternoon. And for that, let's get to meteorologist Cedric Haynes here in the Storm Alert Center. Cedric, after a really nice weekend, some clouds to start the week off.
Yes, Latrice, those clouds are kind of increasing across the area, and that's ahead of our next weather system. Believe it or not, it's actually going to bring us some rain, some maybe much needed rain, because it's been dry over the past couple of weeks. Let me show you the temperatures out there, but before the rain arrives, we are warming up nicely across the area. 72 degrees in Cleveland, 74 in Athens. We're up to 70 in Murphy, 72 in Calhoun, 71 in Dalton, and look at that, already at 81 degrees currently in Scottsboro. We've got that wind coming in out of the southeast between about 10 to 15 miles per hour, and you can kind of see what that's doing. The humidity and the moisture levels are starting to increase across the area, and that's being defined by some of these clouds that are building up here basically across the heart of the Tennessee Valley. So a lot more sunshine as you get over towards Murphy and over towards Scottsboro. That's why your temperatures are a lot warmer than, let's say, in Chattanooga, Cleveland, and Dalton, where we have these clouds building in from the southeast. So that's some some low-level moisture building in. Notice, though, there's not a lot immediately to our west and southwest, but our next weather maker is sitting off to our west. This is the same storm system we've been tracking since last Friday. If you remember watching us on Friday, we told you that was going to be a big storm system over the midwestern portion of the country, and sure enough, they had a major severe weather outbreak, a major tornado outbreak off to our west, and the last of that is now pushing down into the Gulf of Mexico. Now, once this complex kind of fizzles out, we're going to be watching what's happening right along the Mississippi, because that's where we're expecting a new wave of rain to develop later this evening and tonight, and that'll move our way over the next 24 hours. But for the rest of your Monday, just increasing clouds with some sunshine out there, temperatures getting into the lower 80s across the area. But again, as I mentioned, Latrice, we are tracking increasing rain chances. Some of that rain could be locally heavy for parts of the area. We'll talk more about that in just a few moments.
Okay, thank you so much there, Cedric. On Friday, Tennessee Governor Bill Lee signed a bill into law that would allow teachers to carry concealed handguns in schools. The bill was met with strong opposition from some educators, parents, and students from across the state. The bill requires teachers to go through 40 hours of gun training, a psychological evaluation, and obtain the approval of school leaders and police. The law goes into effect immediately. Well, it appears Hamilton County schools will not allow teachers to be armed. Superintendent Dr. Justin Robertson says, as the law is currently written, teachers will not be allowed to carry guns. In a statement, he said, quote, given the ability of our community to provide armed personnel in every building, I will not recommend arming any other person in a Hamilton County school, end of quote. Now, you can find Dr. Robertson's full statement and other statements from the Tennessee Valley schools in our area and on our website. More than 70% of St. Jude Dream Home tickets have already been sold. They are selling quickly. If you want to get one, make sure you do so before they sell out. If you reserve your ticket now, you'll also have a shot at a hot tub worth $25,000. That's in addition to your chance to win the house. Tennessee residents can reserve online. Anyone else reserve by calling the 800 number if you live outside of Tennessee. Coming up on Local 3 News at noon.
The clock is ticking to find the ideal Mother's Day gift, and this year she might want a tech gadget. That's right, I'm Jamie Tucker coming up, rounding up a few gift ideas to give mom a break.
What the Tech is sponsored by EPB Fiber Optics. Introducing new 2.5 gig internet. It's not just fast, it's recklessly fast. Learn more at EPB.com.
Well, Mother's Day is Sunday, May 12th, and we have some gift ideas. Tech gadgets haven't always been a mother's best choice, but that's changing. Our consumer technology reporter Jamie Tucker has rounded up a few ideas.
I'm fairly certain every mom out there just wants to relax, and these tech gadgets will help her do just that. You can pamper mom with what she can only get at the spa, a Keen Ray towel warmer.
So the idea is before you get in the shower, you throw your towel in here, turn this thing on. By the time you're done, you pull it out, and your towel is nice and warm.
She can take her coffee on the road with a portable espresso machine, fill the cap with coffee grounds and the container with hot water, and when she's ready, just press the button to make the perfect espresso. It even has a travel cup. To keep her coffee or tea warmer for longer, there's the Ember coffee mug. Keep it charged on this coaster, and when she's ready, she can take it anywhere. The mug keeps the drink at the temperature she wants for up to 2 hours. A Kindle is always a good gift for someone who reads to relax. The Paperwhite is water resistant and can easily be read in the sun, and she can't do that on an iPhone or iPad. If she already has a Kindle, send a new book from her favorite author. If she's still using an iPad from, say, 10 years ago, get her an updated one. The iPad Air and Pro models come in different sizes. She'll be able to check social media, browse the web, play games, listen to music, watch Netflix, anything else she likes to do online. An Apple Pencil is a great companion for the iPad. Take notes in her handwriting, draw, color, control. It helps keep the screen free of smudges, too, since she's not using her hands. The Apple Pencil is $100, but frankly, some of the other brands work just fine for a little over $20. And if you give her one of these gifts, give her one more. Get out of the house, do all the chores, give her a break and let her enjoy them. That's What the Tech. I'm Jamie Tucker.
Well, the National Retail Federation predicts spending to be down this Mother's Day, with the average person spending $250 on gifts. Ahead on Local 3 News at noon, we're going to meet a local couple who has been collecting Coca-Cola memorabilia since the 1990s. Stay with us. In this week's 3 in Your Town, we meet a local couple who has been collecting Coca-Cola memorabilia since the 1990s. Paul Shaheen has that story.
Y'all know the story, 1886. A pharmacist in Atlanta invents Coca-Cola. It was just a fountain drink at the time, but not long after, two businessmen here in Chattanooga convinced the pharmacist to bottle and sell the product, bottled right here in Chattanooga. Since then, more than a century, Chattanooga and Coca-Cola have gone hand in hand. Present day, they still do it, but there's no museum to be found at the site. But we found one here in Chattanooga with our new friends George and Linda. The aforementioned George and Linda, how can you tell, right? George, Linda, this is your Coca-Cola party room. You didn't collect this stuff overnight, did you?
No, we didn't.
How many years?
We started in 1992, I would say.
Started with the bottle. He never liked a flea market. I did. I drug him to an antique show, a flea market, and he found a Coke bottle from his hometown, Wyandotte, Michigan. And it grew from that.
Yeah. Well, we probably have around 1,700 or more bottles. I have over 1,000 different cities from when they put the city's names on the bottom of the bottles.
I like the Sprite Boy.
What's that?
That's him.
Okay.
It's called the Sprite Boy.
That's the Sprite Boy?
This is from 1942 during World War II.
Wow.
If you read it, it says, please only 1 carton of Coca-Cola to a customer. That's because they had rationing in World War II.
Oh my.
And this is something that Linda wanted. Here's a print they made for the anniversary.
We got, the bottling company gave us that.
Oh, they did. The bottling company right here?
In Chattanooga.
Yes. A lot of the stuff has personal meaning. Now this bottle here, it's probably not really valuable to anyone but me.
Oh, what's that say?
George labeled it Linda's birthday bottle. It was made the year that I was born, and it was made in the city that I was born in.
What city's that?
Rockwood, Tennessee.
How about that? That is pretty
It looks
neat.
like brand new, just like the wife.
So you're part of a club as well.
It's called the Choo Choo Chapter of the Coca-Cola Collectors Club. It's a local club. We meet every other month, the 4th Saturday of the month.
Someone at home is going to be watching this and they're saying, I didn't know there was a Coca-Cola club. You need to tell them, just clear some space out in your house because that's where this leads.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, that's it.
What I enjoy is the camaraderie. You know, we all have the same interest.
Grew up with Coca-Cola, living in a town that had a bottling plant.
Did you ever sell anything? You know, have you had an offer you couldn't refuse on some of this stuff?
The only thing we ever sold was this year at the National Convention. We sold about 3 items.
How did they talk you into it? What you're saying is selling a few things here and there is cheaper than building more house.
Yeah, right, yeah, there you go.
There is no TV or anything to distract anybody, and we actually talk to each other, you know.
Yes, there you go. The moral of the story here is put down the phones, put down the TVs, put down the social medias, get you a Coca-Cola room, and talk to people face to face.
Okay, Paul Shaheen with that report there. Well, right now, we want to go to this story. Hostage release in Gaza ceasefire talks continues, but Israel is greatly concerned that the International Criminal Court may issue arrest warrants for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and senior military officials as early as this week. He has been the focus of protests by Israeli citizens, with Secretary of State Antony Blinken back in the Middle East today. There is a real sense of urgency about trying to get a ceasefire deal in place before Israel carries out its threatened ground offensive in the city of Rafah. Negotiations right now focused on an Egyptian proposal that would see Hamas releasing 33 hostages from the so-called humanitarian category.
Israel is deeply concerned that the International Criminal Court could issue arrest warrants for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the defense minister, and senior Israeli military officers potentially as early as this week. That official says Israel is working through diplomatic channels to try to make sure those warrants are not issued. It would not mean the immediate arrest of Prime Minister.
Well, this could make it difficult for Netanyahu to travel to Europe to other locations that are signatories in the International Criminal Court. Pro-Palestinian demonstrations are popping up in more and more universities all across the U.S. Now schools are under even more pressure to respond to the protests because graduation season is underway. Today is the last day for classes at Columbia University in New York, where the campus movement began. Classes are also wrapping up at Emory University in Atlanta. Their faculty begins a no confidence vote for the school president today over the police crackdown on protests last week.
We talked about how the people who are dying in Gaza right now, the tens of thousands of men, women, mothers, fathers, and children are being displaced.
A UCLA official reports incidents of violence between pro-Israel and pro-Palestine demonstrators yesterday. That school's commencement is set for June, unlike the University of Southern California nearby, where the main ceremony has been canceled. Alrighty, time now to turn back to meteorologist Cedric Haynes here in the Storm Alert Center for a check of our forecast. And Cedric, it was a really nice weekend, lots of sunshine, clouds hanging around today, but it is warming up out there.
It is warming up despite the cloud cover, Latrice, but you'll notice there are some parts of blue sky showing up within those clouds, and that's going to be the story, a mixture of sun and clouds this afternoon. Eventually, we're going to be talking about rain chances returning to the Tennessee Valley. So let's look at the temperatures first, and you can see 73 degrees in Cleveland, 75 in Athens, 71 degrees currently in Murphy. We've got 73 in Calhoun, 72 degrees in Fort Payne. Look at Scottsboro, already at 84 degrees for the current temperature. Let me show you one of the reasons why we're seeing the temperatures increasing, and also we've got the clouds out there because the winds are shifting out of the south and southeast now, and that is starting to pump in a little low-level moisture. So these winds are not breezy, but they're out of the south and east, anywhere between about 5 to 10 miles per hour on average. But you can kind of see what's developing with that southeasterly wind here. We've got these clouds that are developing here and pretty much right across the valley areas. If you're north and east over towards the Athens area, up towards Monroe County, more sunshine over towards Murphy, and then same thing over towards Scottsboro, a lot of sunshine. That's why your temperature is in the low to mid 80s. But here in Chattanooga down towards Dalton and Cleveland, we've got these low-level clouds that are kind of festering up. It's all because we're kind of stuck in between two weather systems. Of course, we have that front off to the west, but what's really been controlling our weather over the weekend is this big ridge of high pressure off the southeast coast now. But as it begins to move away, that's what's starting to pump those winds in out of the south and pumping up that low-level moisture. That's ahead of our next storm system that's moving in from the west. This storm system, which we've been talking about since last week, we told you this system would be a big weather story over the weekend, and sure enough, we had a tornado outbreak off across the plain states down through Texas, but most of that energy is now shifting down towards the south and east. But this system will slowly move our way in a weakening state, bringing us our next chance of rain, which will be beneficial because it'll help try to wash away some of this pollen because it's in the very high range again today, that mulberry, elm, oak, pine, hickory, and grass all causing problems. Let's talk about the rest of your forecast this afternoon, a mixture of sun and clouds. So again, there will be some peaks of sun through the clouds as temperatures climb into the low to mid 80s for your high temperature. We'll go with about 83 in Chattanooga, 82 in Dalton, 81 in Athens, about 82 in Scottsboro, 80 in Murphy, and about 77 degrees in Altamont. Let's talk about the next big thing, which is our next chance of rain. Again, it doesn't look very impressive to the west this afternoon, but by later on tonight, we do expect more showers and thunderstorms to get going between about Memphis and Nashville tonight. But I think we stay primarily dry through the rest of this evening and tonight. Overnight, heading into early tomorrow morning, so just in time for the morning commute, notice that rain begins to shift into the Tennessee Valley. So I do think we wake up to periods of rain. Some of that could be locally heavy, especially west of Chattanooga, and we'll see some off and on showers throughout the day on Tuesday until this weak front finally pushes through the area. That occurs, and once it moves out, we get another ridge of high pressure that builds in for Wednesday and Thursday. That's going to send our temperatures soaring back up into the mid to upper 80s for highs as we go into your Wednesday and Thursday afternoon. And then we've got another front that moves in as we get towards the end of the week. This front kind of stalls out across the Tennessee Valley, giving us daily rain chances sadly into the weekend, but it won't be a washout, just your typical afternoon pop-up scattered showers and storms possible. As far as rainfall totals go over the next 24 hours, the heaviest 1 to 2 inches will be out near Huntsville, but notice the western half of the area has the best chance of seeing the most rain. Here's your Storm Alert 7-day forecast. Latrice, again, most of today dry, but those clouds on the increase. Showers and thunderstorms, especially for the first half of Tuesday, then dry, much warmer for the middle of the week before more rain for the end of the week.